Hi, welcome to today's show. I am Chef Keita. I have with me Stacy. She's a nutritionist.
Hi.
We're both from the Food Bank of South Jersey, and this is Hunger Bites, because quite frankly, hunger bites. So as you see on the screen today, we have 4 different plates with 4 different tasty recipes on them. Can you guess at home what's the main ingredient in these recipes? Can you?
Bet you they can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we stumped them. It looks like we have what? It's like a burger over here, maybe some type of salad.
Chicken salad looks like to me.
Yeah, looks delicious though. And then we have some type of dip. I always like dips.
Yeah, it looks like chocolate icing is my guess.
Yeah. I think we can reveal what is in these 3, 4 ingredients.
You're going to be surprised.
All right. Beans, yes. We are talking beans today, all beans. And honestly, yeah, all these have a bean component. We have a bean burger here made with black beans. We have what we call a no chicken salad, which is one of Stacy's staples, and she's going to demonstrate that a little later in the show for you. And this is made with actually chickpeas.
Also garbanzo beans.
Chickpeas or garbanzo beans, yes, that word is definitely interchangeable. And then we have our dessert hummus that's made with white beans. So Stacy, if you could just move this all out, we can start our first recipe. The first recipe I'm doing today is the bean burger recipe. Very tasty, very affordable, and I think honestly, it's one of our favorite recipes, Stacy and I's favorite recipe that we do at the Food Bank of South Jersey. Very simple recipe, just a few ingredients that Stacy will bring over now. We have some oats. Who doesn't have oats in their cabinet? We do have some fried onions here, but of course, if you like raw onions in your burgers, use the raw onions. Some black beans. We have some spices and things, and our lovely egg here. So I'm going to show you. First, you would take your black beans. You can.
And these have been rinsed already, I would imagine, to get that extra sodium out.
Oh, that's a good point, Stacey. Can you explain that a little further?
Yeah, so the beans, we know they're healthy for us. We've discussed that in the last episode. But with the canned beans, you want to give them a good rinse. They're usually packed in sodium. So rinse them. I rinse them usually like a minute under the faucet, and that gets most of the sodium out. You can also obviously buy the no sodium or low sodium versions, but if you do find just the regular beans and there's a lot of sodium in them, just rinse them and you get it all out.
And honestly, it's the same price. If you buy reduced or low sodium products or canned beans, it's the same price as buying the full sodium. And if you look at the back of that nutrition label and look up sodium, you'll realize there's a huge difference when you buy the low sodium or the reduced sodium canned products. What else about beans, Stacey, while I sit here and I mash some of these beans
I
up?
think we all know the little song that goes,
Oh, the song. Who knows the bean song?
Beans, good for your heart. The more you eat them, the better for your heart.
For your heart, yes. The more you eat beans, of course, the better for your heart. And I think there is a little stigma with beans and, that classic song. But I think, Stacey, you did a fine job in, fine-tuning that song into something that is more relatable. If you don't have a masher, feel free to, use your hands, get in there and mash your beans up. But you do want them to kind of be soft, and kind of break all those beans up. What else about beans can we talk about today? What about the fiber content, Stace?
We kind of revised that song to say good for your heart because that's what's so great about the fiber in beans. It's good for your heart. Beans are one of the highest fiber-containing foods you can get. And what fiber does in the body, it pulls out the cholesterol. So if you're going to your doctor and they're saying, oh, your cholesterol's high, if you start adding beans in with that high fiber content, it's going to pull out some of that cholesterol out of your body. I think of it as a sponge. It just pulls it out.
Nice. So here you see I have mixed up some egg. I'm going to add the egg to the beans.
Nice.
And then good old fried onions. I really do love some fried onions. And this is as easy as just chopping the onion, using a little bit of fat in your pan, and actually getting them really brown. These we did them a little longer, so they're more like caramelized, which is a really good flavor, especially in this recipe. Also, I have some spices. I have some paprika. If you don't have paprika, if you don't have onions, that's fine. Use your beans, use your egg. I like barbecue sauce. I just love barbecue sauce. That's it. That's it. I just love barbecue sauce. So I use it often, interchangeable with the ketchup that most people like to use, maybe in their burger recipes. Even when you're at home and you don't have anything, maybe you don't have ketchup. Maybe you didn't know that. Barbecue sauce is a good substitute. Yes, use barbecue sauce, very flavorful. Have some garlic powder here. I don't know if there is a recipe that I make that doesn't have garlic. I love it. So, and then we have oats. Why oats, Stace? What's a good nutrition fact about some oats?
Well, oats, again, we're talking fiber here. And I think usually when I think about oatmeal, people are eating oatmeal and they think of it as a bland breakfast. Maybe oatmeal cookies if you want to get something that, is deemed tasty. But in this version, we're using it really as a binder in the recipe, I believe, right, Kita? She's the chef here.
Oh, yes. Definitely as a binder. Who wants a burger that's going to fall apart, right?
Right.
So yes, we definitely use the oats as the binder. The egg also helps with the binding process. But of course, if you want to add vegetables to this recipe, you can use a spoon to mix. I'm more old school. I like to use my hands to get right up in there. I just mix it up, see, like this. You see the beans in there, and it's a good way if you forgot or maybe missed a bean by mashing. You'll have this. Mash it a lot more.
It looks really easy.
Made a little spill over here, but we'll get that cleaned up and sanitized. That raw egg, you have to be careful, especially when you're cooking this recipe or even mixing it in things. If you have, children in the house that would like to help, you make sure that, they're washing their hands before and after. Make sure, they're not getting that raw egg on anything else, because they can, you can really get sick by eating that raw egg. Right. But if you notice, the burger is pretty much formed here, but all we do is just pat it down a little bit, make it look more burgery. Is that a word? Ooh, still making a mess. But yep, making it, into a burger patty. And then what we would do is actually, and I'm going to take one of my gloves off, or maybe both actually, because they're pretty dirty. Messy. Yeah. And you would add a little oil. You have to add a little oil to your pan. The beans tend to stick a little bit, but any oil you have, even if you have butter, use a little teaspoon of butter, use olive oil, if you have vegetable oil, like whatever kind of fat. And I use fat, but I mean oil when I say fat, in your pan, because you do not want it to stick. So we will turn our pan on. I already have that burger pretty much made up like this, right? And then just put it in your pan. You let it cook, let it get really, really brown. I am going to let this cook for a little bit, make up some more patties. If you notice here, what is this? About a good a good 3 or 4 burgers here. So this, a good lunch. And that was literally 1 can of beans that I used. So think about that. And then we're going to cook this, and we're going to cut to a commercial break real quick. And then we get back. Stacy has a delicious recipe she's going to prepare for us with a little bit of my help. And we'll see you soon.
Is it your attire, your decorations, your entertainment? Well, join me, Alicia Simone, as I chat with some amazing vendors and clientele who will share their stories and images and their experiences. Right here on RVN TV, Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. and Wednesday at 4 p.m. It will be simply beautiful. See you then.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hip hip hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hip hip hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 100.
Hi, welcome back to Hunger Bites. You've seen that delicious recipe we made just a second ago. That was the bean burger recipe, full of fiber. We had the oats in there. Of course, one of my favorites is the barbecue sauce, the egg, and it's real easy, and it really does do at least 4 burgers off of one 8-ounce can of your beans. Again, we talked about, reduced sodium or low sodium or no salt is your best option when you're going to the store. Mm-hmm. We also, have right here some dry beans. Dry beans, they are usually associated with having to soak your dry beans,
right.
But there are some beans that don't need soaking. Stacey, do you recall any beans that don't need soaking?
Really, it's the smaller beans. So that's kind of how it works across the board. So the lentils, the split peas, they're very small. We have some lentils right here, and because they're so small, they don't need to be soaked overnight. The the bigger beans, I soak them overnight in the refrigerator because it's easy to do. Do you do anything different when you work with
No,
beans?
I soak them. I actually do not put them in the refrigerator.
No?
I put them in a bowl. I usually cover it because I'm just the elements in your air, right?
Right.
So I just soak them with enough water to cover the beans, and those are your bigger beans, like Stacey had just
Right.
mentioned. Those bigger beans you definitely want to soak overnight, and it's okay to meal prep, and that's part of that whole meal prepping mentality is to soak your beans overnight. Next day they'll be ready for you. Put them in the crock pot, put them on on your stove, or make a bean burger, right? So right now, Stacey's actually going to demonstrate how to make what we're calling a no chicken salad.
Right.
So no chicken because there's no poultry in this dish, but there is chickpeas. Chickpeas is a great alternative to chicken. When I tell you, when the first time I had this recipe, I was blown away. I literally make it for all the family functions. It's a great little appetizer. You can eat it, by itself. You could put it on a salad. You could put it, on anything you'd like to put your normal chicken salad on. But we are using the canned chickpeas here.
Yes.
What else do we have here, Stace?
This recipe is a favorite because it's really something that's familiar to people because I think everyone's heard of chicken salad. So this is just no chicken in the chicken salad, which might be confusing, but it's really a great recipe because there's no cooking involved and it's just 4 ingredients. And
4 ingredients.
That's the key to success when it comes to simple recipes. So I'm going to go ahead and start making this and let you see.
I just want to
at
show
home.
our viewers these four ingredients that
Okay,
she's using. We do have, like I said, the chickpeas here, or garbanzo. If you ever heard of garbanzo beans, it's the same thing. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans. We have celery. How many times do you buy a whole stalk of celery and you're like, what am I going to do with this celery? Use it in this recipe here. We do have grapes here. Or you can use cranberries if you like. Dried cranberries is a perfect alternative. If you don't have neither, don't worry about it. And then we have some mayo here. And you can always doctor it up however you like, but this is like the main ingredients here.
Right.
While Stacy is going to demonstrate that, I'm going to attempt to cut some of these grapes up for her so she can put them in the recipe.
Thank you very much. All right, so these beans, the garbanzo beans or chickpeas, have already been rinsed, so we got all the sodium out. So you want to give them, I'd say, a light mash, which is, I think this technique is not used with beans very often unless you're trying to get them to stick together. Now this really, by mashing them like this, it changes the texture and it really makes people think there's chicken in this chicken salad.
Looks delicious already. When did you start making this recipe, Stace?
I've been making this for the last couple of years, I'd say. And you had mentioned the dried cranberries. I use them pretty often, and I think as we're going into the fall, dried cranberries, they're used in a lot of other recipes as well, so I think a lot of people have them on hand right now in their pantry, so that's good.
I actually did see that participants are getting those dried cranberries, so this would be a great recipe to use those dried cranberries in.
I'm gonna add a little bit of celery, because you know traditional chicken salad has the celery in it.
I always like a crunchy kind of chicken salad, so yeah.
And I actually, when I make this at home,
I have grapes.
you have some more grapes
I have
for me?
grapes, yes.
Okay. Go ahead and
Freshly
just throw
cut,
them in.
right?
Perfect. All right, so now we're going to add the mayonnaise to kind of tie this all together. Now, obviously, if you're not a mayonnaise fan, you could use Greek yogurt. That works pretty well, too. But when I make this at home, I usually add walnuts, too. I really love walnuts, and that just is going to add another crunch profile like you were talking about. And it adds yet more protein, some really good fats, too.
That looks delicious.
Yeah, so you can really add, I know some people throw apples into here.
Apples
Just
would be
mix
nice.
it, and we're in the fall, so apples they're right in season right now too. So there's so many
I would
ways.
probably take a slice of apple and dip it into the chicken salad and eat it like that. I just love dips.
I just love no chicken salad. I really do. I make this pretty often at home.
Nice.
Okay, it looks pretty well mixed up, and I mean you can't tell me that doesn't look like a traditional chicken salad.
Oh yeah, Look at that. And how long did it take? We did it right here on the screen. So don't ever feel like you don't have time. You definitely have time to make this. It took us, good minute or two. Oh, we're gonna taste.
Want to give it a little try?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to try? All right, guys, here I go. Oh, I'm trying not to do a big bite, but I don't think there's any other way. Yes.
Good.
I swear. All the blending of all the beans and the celery
It's so good.
and the grape, that little sweet hit of, delicious. Thank you, Stacy.
You're very welcome.
I did want to mention real quick, while I was cutting my grapes, I didn't show you guys, I have a little slip mat here, because a lot of people say, when I'm cutting on a cutting board, oh, excuse me. Woo!
Choking.
Sorry, guys. But when I'm cutting on a cutting board, the cutting board usually slides, right?
Right.
If you want, you could take a wet paper towel, put it under your cutting board, and then you'll prevent that sliding there.
Good tip.
So yeah. So our next recipe is going to be our dessert hummus. And when I tell you guys, it's the most simplest recipe. We have white beans, right? Some cocoa powder, peanut butter,
I love peanut butter.
vanilla, honey, or you can use maple syrup, but honey.
What about pancake syrup? Because not
yeah.
everyone has maple syrup.
Oh yeah, pancake syrup will do. Yes, will do fine. And then of course we have some yogurt right here. And literally, when you mix all this together, now you could put it in your blender, or you can actually mix it by hand. So again, you want to make sure the beads are a little softer, and then put all your ingredients together. We have our ingredients on the screen in a few minutes here. And then once you mix it all together, it'll look just like this here.
Oh, wow.
And look how tasty this looks. There we go. And like I said, it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. You see that?
Easy.
Easy peasy. And then you have, your dessert hummus, what we call it here. And we like to pair it with some fruit, fresh fruit maybe, some graham crackers if you have that handy, or you could just, of course, eat it with a spoon. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're gonna show you all the ingredients, or all the recipes again, and of course, taste everything.
Oh, good.
So we'll see you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Miles of beautiful beaches, solid rock, and everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey. Plan your New Jersey trip at visitnj.org. Waves of fun. Nights of excitement. And a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
This plus this equals this plus this and this. Don't drink and drive.
Listen, what will make your event simply beautiful? Is it your attire, your decorations, your entertainment? Well, join me, Alicia Simone, as I chat with some amazing vendors and clientele who will share their stories and images and their experiences. Right here on RVN TV, Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. and Wednesday at 4 p.m. It will be simply beautiful. See you then.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend.
Hi, welcome back to Hunger Bites. We had a great show today, Stacy. Oh, we talked about so many beans, right?
Yes, we
because
did.
beans good for your heart. The more you eat, the better for your heart, right? So yeah, so we had our bean burger here. I have one here that I prepared earlier, so I'm gonna actually add some toppings to it. And you can make it, use any topping you like. I, of course, love barbecue sauce. I think you guys all know this by now. And I love a tomato, some lettuce. Feel free if you do like avocado, pickles. Like who likes a burger without pickles? You have to have the pickles, right? So we're gonna put this on here like that. I do have a whole wheat bun here. Stacey, why are you clapping?
Well, that's going to be the grain for the meal there, and it's a whole grain. So last episode we covered my plate, so we always say do half your grains whole grain. So this is just another way to make a burger even healthier by using a whole wheat bun.
Would you like to try some, partake in some bean
look at that.
burger? Yeah,
That
that looks delicious, right?
amazing, yeah.
And imagine this on the grill. It tastes just like your regular beef burger. I'll tell you the flavors. I taste the garlic. I taste the barbecue sauce inside the burger. Of course, the barbecue sauce on my bun. My bun is whole grain.
good.
So it's definitely going to keep me full longer than if I was to use the traditional, white buns. But if you have bread at home, use bread. If you have, whatever you have as toppings, use it. But just try, try this recipe. It's very simple. You've seen it earlier. And like I said, you can add cheese if you like cheese. Stacy demonstrated the no chicken salad. We put it in little cucumber boats here, but of course you can always have it on just a regular salad. You can eat it with a spoon, right? We did that earlier. It was so good. But yeah, Stacy, what are the nutritional values of this no chicken salad besides the affordability, right? Because we're using canned beans.
Well, going back to the My Plate, because we always sort of talk about that, you're getting, with the grapes, you're getting some fruit in there. The celery, you're getting some vegetables in there. And then the bean, that's going to act as a protein, but it's also really a vegetable too. So you're getting a little bit of everything in there. And then if you're using a Greek yogurt, that would be a little bit of dairy. And honestly, sometimes at home I make this. I put it in a wheat tortilla, and I'll do a slice of cheese and wrap it up like that. And then you really get everything in there.
A wrap sounds really delicious and very convenient. Especially, everyone pretty much being at home right now, how convenient is it just to whip this up and you can have it for a few days, right? You can put it in your tortilla, make wraps, put it on a salad the next day, something like that. And then lastly, we did our dessert hummus. Again, that was those ingredients we put into either a food processor. The ingredients are on your screen now. The peanut butter and the cocoa and everything. Oh my gosh, it's so easy to make. Stacey, you want to try this with me?
I have not tried this yet. I love peanut butter, so anything with peanut butter in it, I'm sold.
I just love dips. Just give me a dip, and I'm all happy for the rest of the day. But again, easy, simple recipe. You can do it in no time, and it's usually stuff that you have around your house. That you might have peanut butter in your cabinet, and you're done with the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Put it with some beans, mix it up. Like I say, you can use your hand, so don't feel like you have to use a food processor. You can definitely use your hand. Just make sure you try to do those beans first. As you've seen in all our recipes, we kind of mash those beans a little bit more, or a little bit before we actually put all the ingredients in. Right. So thank you all for joining us here at Hunger Bites, because quite frankly, hunger bites. I'll see you next time.